Good morning, everyone. Let's continue the previous lecture. So, in this case, in this lecture, we discuss about the external fault with one CT saturated and need for the high impedance busbar protection. Now, let us consider the external fault of 3000 ampere for the busbar shown here. Now, so that we have discussed previously that bus bar. So let us suppose that because of that high value of the fault current, the this CTC gets saturated, while we will have the CTA and the CTP. These are actually these continue to operate normally. Figure here shows the equivalent circuit as seen from the CT secondary, the equivalent circuit that we discussed in the previous module. For the simplicity, all the leakage reactances we have neglected. Now, from this you can see from this figure, it is observed that the current IA divided by N minus I naught A. I naught is the magnetizing current, and IB divided by N minus I naught B sum up, and the resultant current has two parallel paths available. So this is the one path and this is the second path. So one path is through this overcurrent relay, and the second part through this RS plus RL via the short representing the saturated CT magnetizing branch. Now, from this you will see the part of the fault current which flow through the overcurrent relay, it cause it to trip even though the fault is external. So when it is moving through it, so it will trip. So the overcurrent relay needs to be restrained from tripping on an external fault. So with one CT completely saturated, this one. Now, from this we can easily accomplish. From this we can see that we can easily accomplish this by connecting a high resistance. Let it be R stabilizing, which is the stabilizing resistance, in series with the overcurrent relay. This is the overcurrent relay. So this is the stabilizing resistance, R stabilizing. The stabilizing resistance should be of such a value that under the worst case of the maximum external fault and the full saturation of one CT, the current through this overcurrent relay is less than the peak-off value. And such schemes are actually known as high impedance busbar differential scheme. So such scheme is known as high impedance differential busbar schemes. High impedance differential So what is the main idea? Main idea is to prevent from tripping during the external fault and the full saturation of one CT. Now, to find the value of this stabilizing resistance, R stabilizing, let us pick the value of overcurrent relay BIPU. Let the value of this overcurrent relay be IPU, and the value of resistance associated with the saturated CT, it will be this one, that is RS plus RL. RS plus RL, and the impedance of secondary circuit of saturated CT, it can be represented by ZS, and ZS is nothing but RS plus RL. Now the procedure is followed to find out this current. Now first what we do, First we consider the overcurrent. First we consider that this overcurrent relay is not connected to the is not connected to the system, and the voltage that will be developed across it, let it will be this V set. Now the stabilizing resistance should be of such a value that with the relay connected, the current through the relay should be less than the pickup value of the relay, that is I per unit. So first we find out the voltage across the overcurrent relay in series with the stabilizing resistance, and let it be V set, and this V set is given by, we have to calculate this V set. So this is the voltage across it. So this is given by the expression. We can write the expression. The expression would be V set equals to IA divided by N minus, that is total current, I naught a magnetizing current, plus IB divided by N minus I naught B into ZS. So finally, after simplification, we are getting this V set is equals to IA by N plus IB by N minus I naught A plus I naught B into Z S. This is the V set, that is voltage across this stabilizing resistance. Now, in order that under this condition the current through the relay will be less than or equal to that of pickup value I per unit, we will have the relation, that is R stabilizing should be greater than or equals to V set divided by I per unit. So this is this relationship. Now what we have to do, now assume we will have the N feeders, and further assuming that the magnetizing current of each unsaturated CT is same and it is equals to I naught, and nothing that the transformation ratio of all the CTs is same, which is equals to N. So the general expression that we are getting out of the V set is equals to, that V set is equals to, we can generalize it, summation of K equals to 1 to N minus 1 I K divided by N minus N minus 1 I naught ZS. So what we have to we have done, we have generalized this equation. We have generalized the equation of the V set, where this subscript, if you see this subscript K, it varies from 1 to N minus 1, N being the total number of feeders terminating on the bus, and this if you see K equals to 1 to N minus 1 IK is the maximum external fault current. So if you see, this is the maximum external fault current, which is given by the maximum external fault current is equals to K equals to 1 to N minus 1 IK. It is the maximum external fault current, and let it, this maximum external fault current is written by the expression IF external, let it be written by IF external maximum. Now, up to which the differential scheme remains stable. Therefore, if we neglect the magnetizing current, that is I naught in that very case, so we can write V set as V set is equals to IF external maximum divided by N into Zs, is we are neglecting I naught. And the preceding equation gives the value of the maximum external fault current up to which the differential relaying scheme remains stable. So from this equation, we are getting IF external maximum is equals to N V set divided by Zs. So this is the maximum external fault current up to which differential relaying scheme remains stable. So we have calculated that. Now we have to calculate the minimum internal fault that can be detected by a high impedance busbar differential scheme. Now we have to calculate the minimum internal fault that can be detected by the high impedance busbar differential scheme. So you can say that it is worthwhile to investigate the minimum internal fault current that can be detected by the high impedance busbar differential scheme. The equivalent CT secondary circuit during the internal fault is also shown here in this diagram, you can see. And it is assumed that none of the CTs are saturated in that very case, because we are considering the minimum fault current. So I impedance scheme has the pickup value of I per unit. High impedance scheme has the pickup value of the I per unit and a stabilizing resistance of R stabilizing, and therefore needs minimum voltage of V set to be developed across the series combination of stabilizing resistance and overcurrent relay. Thus you can say that the minimum fault current on CT secondary side that can develop the required voltage, it is given by V set. The equation for the V set is given by, from this you can see that is V set is there. So equation for the V set is given by, and that is IF minimum secondary into R stabilizing. So we can write the equation for the this V set. V set is equals to IF minimum secondary into R stabilization. So we can say that IF minimum secondary is equals to V set divided by R stabilization, and V set, but we will have V set divided by R stabilization is equals to I per unit, and so you can say that IF minimum secondary is equals to I per unit. From this equation you can see. Now here in this figure you can say you can see that during the internal fault all the CT secondaries feed to the spill current, and the current for the minimum internal fault in the high impedance spill path will be that current that we have to calculate it. And because in that very case you will see that all the during the internal fault all the CT secondaries are feeding this spill path. This is the spill path, so this is also feeding the spill path, this is also feeding, and this is also feeding the spill path. So we have to calculate the minimum internal fault. What will the current, minimum internal fault current in that very case that we have to calculate. So we can take the sum of all the currents. So I have written directly the current minimum, that is sum of all the currents, that is here. Then finally we are getting the IA divided by N plus IB by N plus IC divided by N minus summation of sum of IOA plus IOB plus IOC, and finally what we are getting equals to IA plus IB plus IC divided by N minus same this value, and or we can say that this IA, IB and IC, these are actually the, what are they? These are the internal minimum primary currents. So internal minimum primary current, so we can write it as IF internal minimum primary, like we have written for the secondary, divided by N minus 3 I naught. I naught because of the fact that we have assumed that all the CT magnetizing current is same, and let it be I naught. So it is 3 I naught. So what we do, we multiply both the sides by N. By multiplying both the sides by N, we are getting, this is actually, since this is I per unit, so finally what we get, what we are getting here, N IPU equals to IF internal minimum primary minus multiplying both the sides by N, so we are getting 3 and I naught, and finally we get IF internal minimum primary equals to, taking it in to that side, and we are getting I N into I per unit plus 3 I naught. So what it means, 3 feeders terminating on the bus. So for the general case of N feeders terminating on a bus bar, the minimum internal fault current can be detected by the high impedance bus bar differential scheme, and that can be given by, for an you can say N feeders terminating and on the bus bar. So what we can do, we can replace 3 by N, the final expression we are getting. Now what is the stability ratio of high impedance bus bar differential protection? Actually the stability ratio is defined as stability ratio So stability ratio is defined as the ratio of the maximum external fault current for which the scheme remains stable to the minimum internal fault current for which it operates. So it is equals to IF external maximum and IF internal minimum. So you can say that it is the ratio, stability ratio, which is denoted by as, it is the ratio of the maximum external fault current for which the scheme remains stable to the minimum internal fault current for which it operates. It is actually a dimensionless quantity. The higher the value of stability ratio, the better is the quality of the differential protection. So higher be the value, better be the quality. The stability ratio of a few tens are common in extra high voltage busbar and differential protection. Now we will discuss the supervisory relay. So what is supervisory relay? So we will discuss the supervisory relay. So what happens in a busbar differential scheme? Many times it happens that a particular CT gets open circuited. So at other times there may be the break in the pilot wire, that is like that, which is coming from the particular CT secondary winding. Thus, even though there may be no internal fault in the bus bar, an imbalance is created because of that. So this is the break, and so imbalance is created because of that on the secondary side, causing a spill current which is equal to the current that was being contributed by a particular CT before its secondary got open circuited. Such type of events are no doubt dangerous. So a current contribution of the individual CT would be much less than the pickup value of the overcurrent relay, and the scheme will remain insensitive to such CT open circuit fault because it is not designed for that very purpose. All the same, we need to develop a mechanism to detect such faults so as to raise an alarm to alert the operating personnel. The highest spill current in case of loss of one CT will be caused in case the CT which carries the maximum current, that is the obvious one. Now figure here shows the normal load being supplied by the feeders. In this figure, the normal load being supplied by the feeders, and there is the break of the pilot wire which is coming from this CTC, and this will cause a spill current equal to the current that has been contributed by CTC before the break occurred, as shown in the figure. So spill current is there, which is actually equal to the current that was being contributed by CTC before the break occurred, and you can see that spill current of IC divided by N, the spill current of IC divided by N, this spill current will develop a voltage across the series combination of this stabilizing resistance and the overcurrent relay, which can be sensed by the sensitive over voltage relay, which is known as the supervisory relay. So this spill current is detected by this relay, which is known as the supervisory relay. So the function of this supervisory relay is that what happens, that this spill current, that spill current in this case will be IC divided by N. What happens when it breaks? There is a break in the pilot wire coming from the secondary CT. It will cause a spill current equal to the current that will be contributed by the CTC before the break occurred, that is IC divided by N. And this spill current develop a voltage across the series combination of this R stabilizing and the overcurrent relay, which can be sensed by the sensitive over voltage relay, which is known as the supervisory relay. And the supervisory relay is set to pick up at this value. V supervisory is given by I load maximum divided by N into R stabilizing plus R overcurrent relay. So however, in this discussion we have neglected the magnetizing current of CTs. Now the setting of this supervisory relay, that is the V supervisory, will be much less than the setting of the high impedance relay, that is V set. So the setting is much less than the high impedance relay. And now we have discussed in this lecture, we have discussed bus bars single phase. All the voltage bus bars are three phase, and we have considered only the single phase in the previous, that is in this lecture only. And here a figure here shows the three phase bus bar with the 2 incoming and 3 outgoing line. So the protection scheme is simple, is like that of the single phase that we have shown. It is similar to that of three phase. So this type of protection is known as, since our stabilizing we have used here, so it is known as the high impedance three phase bus bar differential protection. So this is known as high impedance three phase bus bar differential protection. So this is all about the differential protection of the bus bar. That is the protection that is used in the bus bar. So this concludes your chapter of the bus bar protection. So thank you very much.